The application of progressive overload is going to look a little bit different for everyone. So I'm going to tell you what I personally like to do for both bodyweight training and weight training because I like to progress both differently. With bodyweight training, I like to work at the highest ability level that I could handle first and drop set that as I start to fatigue. Whereas with weight training, I like to start off light and gradually wrap it up like a weight ladder to sort of warm up into the movement. There's a lot of reasons for that. At the level that I'm at, the body weight stuff requires a lot of balance and stability now, whereas the weightlifting stuff has a lot more chance of error under very heavy load. So I want to minimize my chances of injury for both. If I'm fresh during bodyweight training, then I'm most likely not going to fall and hurt myself because that's where I'm most likely going to injure myself is if I fall. Whereas with weight training, I'm going to injure myself more if I mess up my form. If I mess up my form in bodyweight training, it's not really going to do that much damage because the balance component will allow me to shift my weight differently and change the shape of my body to make it easier on the spot. With weight training, we just don't have that luxury. This is just something that I have found that works for me personally, and I like to apply them differently with bodyweight training and weight training. In regards to progressing volume over time, something that you can do is give yourself rep ranges instead of a specific rep count. For example, instead of saying 3 sets of 5, give yourself some leeway to work up to 3 to 5 sets of 3 to 5 reps. That way, a great way to work up to it is to start with the bare minimum, 3 sets of 3. And then the following week, you could increase your rep count, 3 sets of 4. And then the following week, you could increase your rep count, 3 sets of 5. Once you reach the top of the rep range, you can make the exercise harder by choosing a harder variation or a heavier weight so that it forces you to go back down to 3 sets of 3. Then I would just continue sticking with the 3 sets until you do the top of the rep range, 3 sets of 5, and you're still stuck on that weight and you can't do the next heaviest weight or progression, then you can do an extra set, 4 sets of 5, and then the following week, 5 sets of 5, which will most likely allow you to work up to 3 sets of 3 of a harder weight or progression. So quick recap, stick with 3 sets and try to increase your rep range until you reach the top of the rep scheme. And then once you reach the top of the rep scheme, make the exercise harder by adding more weight or adding a more challenging variation. Once you can no longer progress when you've reached the highest weight and the highest rep range, then add an extra set and an extra 2 sets until you're able to lift a heavier weight or progression.